I'm Matt Guff from House.com. I'm here with a couple of great guys from 32. We have Mike Neville and Kyle Kennedy. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. They're going to kind of walk us through the 2019 32 Lashed series or collection. Mike, you've been a rep for us for how long?
19 years.
19 years. Thanks for that. Yeah. And then Kyle, you've been one of our team riders for...
About
is
five
it five?
or six?
5 or 6?
Yeah,
it must
probably.
be. Yeah, and Kyle's actually one of the 32 team riders too, so I'm stoked you guys are here.
Yeah.
It's nice. I'm also stoked on these things. One of the first boots that I rode from 32 was a Lashed. It's been in the collection for how many years?
Oh gosh, to get technical, we'd have to look it up to go back, but I'd guess at 15 or so.
15 years or so. See, and it's gone through a lot of different things. But what do you have kind of before yourselves? We have the Lashed Boa, Classic Lashed, the Crab Grab, Collab, the Santa Cruz, and the Premium Leather. They're all a little bit different. They all have like their special things. But what's the thing that makes a Lashed boot a Lashed boot?
So when we started with the Lashed, what really put this boot on the map for us was the weight of the boot and how light it was. When we first introduced it, we had a very minimal amount of rubber on the outsole. Rubber being a heavy agent added a lot of weight, especially back in those days, a lot of weight to the boots. Right. That being a light boot, as well as adding to the comfort out of it, because there's an independent eye stay on this boot that actually gives you a wrapped feel down around your forefoot, which is just going to aid in the fit and the comfort of the boot. So the boots always fit great, and it's always had great shelf appeal of being light. It's never been a clunky boot, and that's really what got a lot of eyes on it and turned people onto it, and it's just really evolved around the years, and it's become one of 32's top selling boots since then. So
Right. Now I remember when I first wrote it, it was quite a bit softer.
Correct.
But now over the years, it's kind of firmed up a little bit. There's been some good rider and kind of customer feedback, and now it sits kind of at that 6 flex out of the 1 to 10 flex rating scale. The 10 being really stiff, and of course 1 being extremely soft. And at a 6, that's a little bit more reactive than most.
Absolutely. We've added up a lot of different things on this as it's progressed over the years. Of course, the liner systems are going to have some things to do with it, as well as we've really added on a lot in what we call our performance backstays on these boots, which are basically just going to be a lot of reinforcement on the back side of it. And in the long term, it's going to create these boots not to break down very quickly. So it's not necessarily going to add them to be crazy stiff. It's going to be a good mid stiffness, like you mentioned, but there's going to be a lot of longevity out of the boots by not breaking down after a season of somebody being on it how many days a year.
Right. So as we kind of walk through the line, what are the biggest differences? Obviously, the Boa has a double Boa system, and this is a coiler system?
Correct. We do a coiler system on the tongue or the upper part, and then on the side is a non-coiler system, which controls the lower zone of the Boa, or of the boot. Boa does not, they dictate how their products go on people's boots. So no matter what brand you have out there, your side dial or the dial for the lower zone is never going to have a recoiler on it because there's not enough cable to actually recoil out of it.
Got it.
Smart move on Boa's behalf by stating that out and giving an equal playing field for everybody, because there's no reason or use to actually have it on there. However, on the center dial, where you do get it up on the upper zone, you're going to have a lot more play, and it makes sense to have it there.
Got it. So the only boot that we're kind of missing from this collection is the Bradshaw.
Correct. Some inline team colors, of course, which we are showing the gold and black one.
That's nice.
But then one of our top-selling colorways in the line every year is always the Chris Bradshaw colorway in the Lashed boot.
Got it.
So that is one that we're missing up here on the table, which I believe you guys will be showing on your site as well.
I think it must be like another warehouse of ours, because we just didn't have it right now.
Right.
For the vids, next time, guys. So Kyle, there's a couple different lacing systems. We got the double bow and the lace. What do you prefer?
I prefer the laces.
Why is that?
They're a little more customizable.
Sure.
Just you can pull tighter in one spot, keep it a little looser on top, say, and
you
can have a little more play up here.
Cool.
But the bow is nice too, because it's just simple.
Yeah.
push it in, twist it, and you're good to go.
That's right. And you know, it is kind of cool because I'm glad that they have like the double boa in the lash, you know, and then with the independent eye stays that like wraps around the top, like you get a lot of customizable fit with the double boa or with the lace. I think a lot of people just like the feeling. It's like that ritual thing of like you put your boots on, you lace them up, you get those little calluses on your pinky fingers. You know, there's something ritualistic, if that's a word, about just like lacing those boots.
Sure.
But as we kind of like go down this line, what are like the main differences? Like these three look a lot alike, right? What's the differences between like the lashed, the regular, the crab grab, and the Santa Cruz?
So you're absolutely right. If we were going to group these guys together, your crab grab and just what would have our inline colorway of the lash would be identically the same from a function or performance standpoint. The only main difference on this is you get this little crab grab claw down there for your ankle lace rather than having just your regular lace loop down there. So just a cool little feature on there that crab grab always adds in. We give those guys pretty much full reign to design the boot or the colorway that they do, and they always have really cool ideas that they add in on there. So. Otherwise, from a performance standpoint, those two colorways in the boots are going to be identical. All the features coming out of that dual boa are going to be the same as what we're seeing in these two as well. Cool. Of course, with the exception of the traditional lace compared to the double boa system.
Got it. So it's going to have like the STI Evolution Outsole foam.
Correct.
Sole. Okay.
Evolution foam, STI Evolution foam outsole on it, which very eco-friendly outsole. It's little pebbles that get put into a mold. It gets heated up, and as you see the outsole, it comes out just like that. There's no waste or anything that's out of it. Acts as a cushioning material for your midsole as well as your outsole material being durable on that as well.
Right.
The upper on those particular boots are all going to be all synthetic. You get your Team Fit liner system in there with the Team Fit harness, and then also your Team Fit footbed that's going to be corresponding with that as well.
Cool. So that's dual density. EVA.
Correct. This is a dual density, or this is a molded EVA foam for the footbed. Then you have your Tpr Heel Counter that's going to go around the side here. Basically, it is cradling your heel, which will then stabilize your ankle, kind of giving you that nice straight fit going up, giving you a little more support on it. Once you get into the liner system, yes, the Team Fit liner is going to be a dual density foam that comes in here. So you're going to have your J-bars that are built inside of there to hold you in place. You see this little protective material across the tongue here that basically protects these internal laces on the internal lace harness from cutting into any of the liner going across the instep of the boot there. You do have your strap up on top. You can cut this down if it's too long. So that's what those little stitches on there are for.
That's a smart little move. That's a smart little move.
A little bit softer up on the top for our soft cuffs, so you're not getting any bite that's going into your shell. And then you'll notice all of these liner systems are going to have the pockets here for the heel hold kit, which these are all going to come inside of our boot boxes this year, which look like this. There's 3 different sets inside of there of 3 different thicknesses, and basically it's just going to be fine-tuning the fit of your boots on there, taking up some space between the shell and the liner of your boot. Anybody that maybe has a little skinnier heel or ankle area or just wants to perfect their fit a little bit more and they know what they really like. So
so the Team Fit is found in these 4, right?
Correct.
Not
so the Team Fit,
the premium?
Your premium, you're right, is not going to have it. You're going to get it in the Santa Cruz, the crab grab, the regular inline colorways, and then also the boa. Those are all going to have pretty much the same performance features out of the internal part of the boot from the liner and harness system and footbeds, as well as the shells of the boot. Now, when we get into the Santa Cruz lashed, where this differs a little bit on here, first off, it's got the cool kind of old school sticker job that's on the side, along with kind of a patch that's on there. And one other thing to note on the Santa Cruz one is both boots are different. So they don't look the same.
Oh, really?
So it's meant to kind of give an old 80s skate appeal to it where, you know, you put stickers on your nose or tail and it's one or the other, so they look a little different.
It's actually pretty cool.
And even, in fact, it doesn't have the screaming hand on the other one. You're just going to have the Santa Cruz dot up on the other top of the boot.
Sweet.
So some fun that we had with those guys on it. But the main performance difference between this boot and the other lash that we just spoke about is you can see this has a full rubber outsole on it. Gives a little bit more of a skate feel, even looks like it's vulcanized. It is not a vulcanized outsole. It is a true cup sole on it. and it is full rubber on it. So we got a full rubber cup sole on it with a little bit of polyurethane midsole on there for some extra cushioning.
Right.
And what this outsole is going to be, that's a little bit different than the Evolution foam that we have on there. It is going to add a little bit of weight to this boot compared to the other models that we have, because as we mentioned, rubber is a little bit heavier than what the Evolution foam is going to be. But you're going to get a little more board-on-board feel on this. So once you're strapped into your binding on this, you're going to get a nice secure fit on there. This rubber outsole is not going to give or roll as much as the Evolution foam sole is going to have, and it's going to give you just that more onboard feel that some of the riders are looking for.
Right.
Of course, corresponding depending on how big your pads and your base plate are, and so on and so forth. But
right. Now, one thing I've always loved about 32 boots is they have I feel a really tight heel pocket.
Correct.
Right? And then you guys add in the heel hold kits for like a customizable fit. So like every single boot with the Team Fit liner and above kind of has these, right?
Yes.
And the cool things about these is that there's two different thicknesses. It's the same material, right?
It is.
Is one harder than the other, or about the same?
They're about the same.
Okay.
You can stack them on top of each other if you want to make them thicker and things like that. So.
And so if you have like a weird shaped ankle or a weird shaped like heel cup or foot, you can like customize and stick those things in. Now, Kyle, you kind of had a couple like. You had an ankle issue a while back. Yeah. Do you use these to get like a tighter fit?
Yeah.
Well, what's your combo?
I think I just used 2 of these actually, just in the right boot. Just
in the right boot?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just helped it because it doesn't have the strength it used to.
Sure.
So that would just kind of hold it in place and hold it straighter up and down. I didn't feel it as much.
Right.
But left boot I did it without, and it felt good too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a cool thing that I haven't really thought of. I guess is like you can add in not only for it to like secure a better fit in the heel area, but you can give yourself a little bit more support. You double those things up. If you could rock your laces loose up here, and then you can have like a tighter fit that makes you more supportive around your ankle where you kind of need it. So you can have still a loose top, but like a secure ankle part.
Absolutely. I actually threw some in my boots last year just for the sake of trying them out. Not that I needed them for fit or any injury reasons, but just for the sake of trying them out. And what I noticed on it is exactly what you were saying, Guff, like where you're fitting through your ankle area then, you just don't need to crank it down as tight because it's creating a little extra volume in between the shell and the liner. So in this ankle area when you're lacing it up, it just gives you a little more of that support or stability without having to tie your boot as tight.
That's right. Now, so these boots are fairly similar besides the lacing system in the BOA.
Correct.
The rubber kind of footbed you'll find in the Santa Cruz. And then there's the premium. So it has that the performance liner, a little bit more support, but it also has full grain leather, right?
Correct. So we made some, we introduced this boot for the first time last year, and this is the first time that we've done a full grain leather boot like this. And we made some basically some upgrades that we took from some of our other boots in the line that we wanted to add to it to make it the premium lash. Right. So of course the most visible part about it is going to be the premium leather that is on the upper of this boot.
Right.
So definitely meant to have a cool wear effect to it as well. But kind of starting at the bottom of this, you'll notice that this outsole is going to be a different outsole than what we had on these other lash that we're talking about, which this is going to be the outsole that we also share with our Team 2 boot in the line. A long-standing favorite of a lot of our riders. Scotty Stevens has always had his boot on that one. So this is the Team 2 outsole that we put on here. You got a couple rubber pods on there just to add for some extra traction. And then this is also going to be going on some STI energy foam, which is just going to be a little more cushioning and giving you the energy back into it, more or less that you're getting out of it. Right. Similar to the Evolution foam that we were speaking of.
Right.
When you get into the guts on the inside of this boot, like you mentioned, you do go to the premium fit liner system on here, which just adds some more supportive and stiffening materials onto this liner system, as well as giving you the performance footbed, which is the STI Evolution foam that we're using the footbed out of. Cool. And then you do get your heel counter on that for your extra stability and support as well.
Yep.
And then your internal harness on the inside of here is actually going to have 4 lace loops on it. This is a traditional lashed one with the 3 lace loops on it.
Right.
Now the performance one is going to be a little bit taller with another lace loop added in to give you a little more support out of it.
Right, because these ones sit at about a 6. This one sits about a 7.
Correct.
On the fluctuating scale.
Exactly, because on this liner system we are adding the stiffening material in on the back of the liner, and then of course by having that taller, and the more times you lace your boot back and forth, the more stiffness you're going to get out of your boot. So by adding another lace loop in there in the internal harness and making it taller adds a little bit of stiffness to it.
Right. There's a good range of boots just in this whole Lashed collection. Kyle, if you had to pick one of these boots, which ones do you think you'd pick and why?
I'd probably pick the Santa Cruz ones.
Right.
I like the bottom of the outsole.
Yep.
I like that more true board feel.
Yeah.
Kind of sit more flat on your footbed.
Right.
But that's just me.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. They're all good. I think I really like the aesthetics of the premium, and I like a little bit of a stiffer boot. So like it looks cool and just a little bit more supportive. I've got weak ankles, you know, it's just like from riding forever. So I do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually what I'm on right now as well.
That's what you're in? Yeah. Again, it's kind of like, you know, you get a little older, you're like, yeah, I'm going to get leather. Totally. You know, it's like your car. It's like, I want some leather seats,
right.
Awesome. Well, this is a really rad lineup. I'm so glad you guys are here just going to like walk us through this piece. Yeah, make sure to check out all the Lashed collection boots at thehouse.com. You can see all the links to the products. Again, we're missing one, the Bradshaw, but we have
Bradshaw colorway. There is a all black one, a black and white one, a couple other what we call inline colorways, but the main colorway that we're missing on here that's most popular would be the Bradshaw colorway.
Got it. It had some awesome collection of boots. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Leave a comment or question. Let us know what you think of the Lashed boots. Subscribe to the channel, maybe over here. Check out more vids. They link them down there, right? It is somewhere around here. So thanks so much for being here. Thank you guys again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching. Peace.